Welcome to Seneca Someone. I am Hyunwoo Jung. Today I am here with Paula Todd. She's a professor at Seneca College and an investigative reporter. It is nice to have you here today, Paula.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to our interview.
What is special about being an investigative reporter?
The difference in being purely an investigative reporter, though, is you've done your time. You've worked on all kinds of stories. And at some point, your news outlet says, we want you to simply work really hard to find out things other people generally can't. And so it becomes a specialty.
What was your most memorable work as an investigative reporter?
I've always found something interesting about every single story. The one that stands out most in my mind, because it was the most recent, of course, was tracking down the Canadian serial killer, Karla Homolka.
And how did you find her?
I researched around the clock for about 2 weeks using my computer access. And you know, I teach you computer-assisted research and reporting. And then it's just plain old boots on the ground reporting. You follow the clues and you try to track down the address of the person you're looking for.
Weren't you scared when you were meeting with her?
I had to be prepared to not be afraid. And I made that decision before I left. But I will admit that just before I saw her, as I was walking up these stairs in her apartment building, and I could see that there was a cage around the stairway leading up, I got scared.
Why did you try to track her down? You had safer options.
I reached a conscious decision after I read online in 3 places that there was a real possibility Karla Homolka was teaching children in the Caribbean the same age as the ones that she had helped kill. As a lawyer, I understand that she did her time and that she was free to go, even if most of Canada thinks that decision and sentence was far too light. But as a journalist, I thought I had an added responsibility. If you can do something, I can find people. If you can do that, and children's well-being is at stake, for me, it wasn't even a choice. I had to go and try and determine whether she was, in fact, teaching children.
Would you recommend your students to do the same thing?
I wouldn't just recommend my students do it. I would hope, and hope again, that they will have the enthusiasm, the commitment, and have done the research to do precisely what I did.
Even like it is a dangerous story like that?
Journalism can be easy if you are doing perhaps just entertainment journalism where you're just reading scripts, or it can be challenging, difficult, and even dangerous. I've never had a taste for anything other than danger in this job. I just don't see what's the point of doing it.
You published a story about tracking Karla in an ebook. That seems quite unusual. What led you to that decision?
The reason I did that, my agent, Derek Finkel, was he has a lot of online connections, and my problem that I brought to him was I found Karla Homolka. I know people are still looking for her. And I found out later that there was actually a Sun team on the same island that I was trying to track her down. They just didn't succeed. We knew that time was of the essence. I mean, one of the reasons we're in journalism is because we want to break news. We want to present the newest thing to our audience. It takes 6 months to get a book published. So even if I wrote the book in, say, 3 weeks, which I did, I would have to wait 6 months for them to get the type right, to find the picture for the cover, to do a million things. There was no time to do that. So instead, I settled on a hybrid, which was a longer than usual news feature, but published with extraordinary speed.
Will it be a new kind of journalism that we are going to see more of in the future?
I don't even need to answer that question. All I have to do is ask you this. If you do tons of research, you care about the story that you're working on, and you are offered 14 inches or 1,200 words to write this amazing story, or you're offered 40,000 words, what would you take?
40,000 words.
There's your answer. I think it is a wave of the future.
Any other advice to students who wants to be an investigative reporter?
If you want to be an investigative reporter, you have to learn how to be a really good news reporter to start with. So you have to have a nose for the news, you have to know how to investigate, you have to become quite adept at interviewing people. Remember, as an investigative journalist, most of your time will be spent interviewing people who not only don't want to talk to you, are going to go out of their way to lie to you, if you can even find them. So the basic skills that we teach you here at Seneca College, you need to work on them, be committed to them, and you have to have an appetite. If you don't feel curious about other people, if you're not curious about what's happening in this world, you're never going to be a good investigative reporter.
Thank you for your answers, Paula.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
That is it for today's Seneca Someone. Thank you for watching.